kind to your woman.
Yes.
Try that and see exactly where things go.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Shauna. Thank you, Aldika. Thank you very much, Kizzy. You guys have been awesome. Hey, thank you, Vincent, for being the first time listener. Thank you. Yeah, Larry lost his man. God, yes, absolutely. Big hello to everybody who is watching. Stay exactly where you are. The news at 6 is straight ahead.
I wanna know.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network and, as an extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
I like to know.
What's that? Don't you know you're putting your children's lives at risk?
Man, Charlie, what you mean?
I mean, there's a right and wrong way for children to travel in cars, and this is wrong.
A child weighing less than 20 pounds shall sit in an infant seat fitted in the back seat. A child weighing between 20 and 40 pounds shall sit in a convertible seat fitted to the back seat. A child over 40 pounds or up to 4 feet 9 inches should sit in a booster seat fitted in the back seat. And obviously, everyone else should be wearing a seatbelt.
This means you too, Mommy.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, the 2018-2019 budget communication continues in the House of Assembly. Find out more about the waiver on taxes for electricity bills. The Minister of Foreign Affairs in Washington, D.C. attending this week's OAS General Assembly. And find out why small foreign investors may think twice about doing business in the Bahamas.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The government changing its mind on one of the tax waivers in its upcoming budget. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. More Bahamians will be able to benefit from the value-added tax waiver on residential electricity bills after promising earlier this week during Pinewood's constituency meeting that the government will revisit the decision to waive value-added tax on residential electricity bills of $100 or less. Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, announced that this has now changed. In his contribution to the 2018-2019 budget communication debate in the House of Assembly on Wednesday, Minister Turnquest says residents with electricity bills of $200 or less are now eligible for the value-added tax waiver.
We are also extending the electricity bill VAT exemption ceiling from $100 per month to $200 per month. That means that some 63,000 of the 90,000 BPL residential customers will now benefit. Can't take it up no more. Again, this will apply to all licensed utilities in the Bahamas, and it will take effect come August 1st, 2018. Once you hit the $200 limit, you can pay VAT on the whole bill. All right? Because we're helping people who need help.
Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Barry Islands, Carlton Bowleg, made his contribution to the budget debate today, where he noted the Bahamas Agricultural Marine Science Institute will experience a major transformation as it reshapes to become more effective. The Member of Parliament also noted that BAMSI, that has nearly 300 students enrolled, will attract its largest cohort of 100 students in the fall of this year.
We also expect to enroll for the first time, Mr. Speaker, international students during the upcoming academic year, which will further the support legitimacy of the academic institution, establishing it as a credible institution within the field of education.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, is in Washington, D.C. this week, attending the 48th regular session of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States, as well as its 70th anniversary of the adoption of the organization's charter. Minister Henfield met with OAS Secretary General, His Excellency Luis Almagro, on Monday. In his address, Minister Henfield said the Bahamas lauds the adoption of the resolution on incorporating multi-dimensional criteria for measuring poverty development and critical issues for the CARICOM region.
The Bahamas will continue to support the organization's work on scholarships and its training program and the Inter-American Education Agenda, which we played a role in crafting as chair of the Inter-American Committee on Education. In light of the increasing vulnerability of the region to natural disasters, the Bahamas is also pleased with our agreement to mandate the OAS strengthens its disaster response mechanisms. Similarly, we are pleased to support the mandate on non-communicable diseases.
While supporting a stronger budget for the OAS, Minister Henfield said for many of the small member states like the Bahamas, the OAS is one of the few global institutions where there is broad accessibility to technical assistance, particularly for development projects.
We note that there is growing acknowledgement of the inadequacy of the current income-predicated methodology used by many international financial institutions to assess development level and need, and to make decisions regarding concessional lending and access to aid. We commend reforms underway in this direction, such as the IDB's introduction of their Macro Development Vulnerability Index, which has introduced vulnerability assessments into their lending decision-making criteria as a model for other such institutions.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Forces, Her Majesty's Bahamian ship Yellow Elder, was officially handed over to Stewart's Cove Dive Company and will be used as an artificial reef site for visitors. Commissioned on November 20th, 1986, the 108-foot HMBS Yellow Elder was used extensively by the Defense Force in the fight against transnational activities such as illegal migration, poaching, and drug smuggling. HMBS Yellow Elder was decommissioned in 2016 and was recently sunk as a dive wreck by the Stewart Cove Dive Company and will be used by the company at no cost. Now to news from the crime beat. First at 6, the Haitian man is dead after an attempted armed robbery outside of a liquor store on Carmichael and Bacardi Road last night. Hundreds of onlookers gathered at the side of the road as officers worked into the night. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash, says officers received a call around 9:30 last night.
The officers, once they arrived on the scene, they discovered a large crowd of people who were gathered in this area. They received certain information that a male had been shot and was lying just to the rear of the establishment behind me. The only information we're working with thus far is that shortly around 9:30, the victim pulled up at this location where he was approached by a lone gunman who attempted to rob him. As a result, he was shot and he ran off where he collapsed.
Chief Superintendent Cash says emergency personnel examined the victim, who was pronounced dead at the scene. He says police have no significant leads into the murder at this point and appealed to members of the public that were in the area to contact police with any information they can provide. With a number of armed robberies recently reported, Cash also urged members of the public to exercise caution.
Again, I'm appealing to members of the public who may be moving about at night or in the day during the busy working hours to be, cognizant of their surrounding. And if they see any persons walking around of a suspicious nature, to contact the police at 911 919.
And still to come, retired teachers paying a visit to Government House. That story and more when First at 6 comes right back.
Together, we laugh more, we discover more, we dream more. Together, we connect more, we cheer more. Grab life by the bundle and fuel your passion for your favorite things. Enhance your entertainment experience with Flow Evo, internet and home phone in one simple package. The hotter the bundle, the more you get. Grab life by the bundle with BTC.
Are your monthly bills coming in on top of your holiday bills? It's time for a change. Bundle your bills into one low-rate loan with Commonwealth Bank. Move your high-rate loans and credit card balances from other banks to a low-rate consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank. Less stress, less to pay, each and every month. Plus, the chance to win $5,000. So make a change. Get a consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank and pay less.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection, making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken bundled with a variety of delicious sides is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
Rugs, carpet tiles, ceramic tiles, floor mats, even vinyl flooring. Find them all at Wright's Carpet Masters located on Bernard Road. Let them cater to your home or your office needs, and you can choose from a variety of carpets, floor mats, cashmere, oriental rugs, and area rugs. And if you can't come to us, we will bring the business to you, offering free estimates and deliveries to the Family Islands. Wright's Carpet Masters will get it right for you. Located on Bernard Road, telephone number 364-1260.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Bahamas Contractors Association President Leonard Sands says the Bahamas could see a decrease in small direct foreign investments. Sands told ZNS News on Wednesday that the 12% increase in value-added tax could cause investors to turn away from conducting small projects in the future.
The challenge is the smaller FDI projects, when someone wants to come in and do just a small shopping plaza or an offshore bank. That's not going to get a heads of agreement. That may be only a $10 million job. That's too small to get a heads of agreement. And that project, which was eyed on starting, that investor now says, I'm going to pay 4% more in VAT taxes. That pushes my threshold outside what I want to spend. Maybe I decide not to do this project anymore in the Bahamas.
The Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation's recent trade exposition and seminar was highlighted regional and international trade. The Chinese Embassy Chargé d'Affaires Ying Hai Guang and Cuban Ambassador to the Bahamas, Her Excellency Ismara Walters, say they are looking forward to embracing trade prospects with businesses here in the Bahamas.
I think we can take this opportunity to enhance the trade between the Bahamas and its partner countries like China. I know China and the Bahamas is far away from each other, but we are glad to see that more and more Chinese people are coming to this beautiful island. More and more Chinese companies are doing business here in the Bahamas. And I also met a lot of Bahamian friends who are very interested in doing business in China.
For many, many years, we have had a trade relationship, especially with people from the southern islands of the Bahamas. Some of them are closer to Cuba than to Nassau. And the whole idea is to speak about the opportunities we have, the sectors we can strengthen our relationship, and also the possibilities for Bahamians entrepreneurs and companies to foster the trade relationships with Cuba.
Trade exposition attendees Larry L. Cole and Amanda Osmerod outlined what stood out to them the most at the forum.
I was particularly interested in the Trusted Traveling Program and the access to Bahamians coming to and from, particularly with specialized labor as well, expats and qualified persons coming outside of the country and then coming in as well. So I think that there were very valuable points that he made about the discussion.
I feel it's important to be proactive and being current and being seen and hearing what's happening in Nassau. and also presenting, something from the family island so they don't forget that there are a lot of good industries and products being produced outside of Nassau. So unfortunately right now I have to come to Nassau to kind of get a full picture of what's happening, and that's why I'm here.
The Bahamas Union of Teachers Retirees Club paid a courtesy call on Governor General Her Excellency Dame Marguerite Penling at Government House. President Emilio Wilson says this movement was established in 2007 with the mission of working together to build a nation.
We assist at schools, even though we are retired. Also, we have outreach ministries where we assist with food, clothing, and monetary donations.
Former trade unionist Italia Bowe says the courtesy call was inspiring because the Governor General encouraged them to continue being a positive force in the nation.
A situation that happened at the school yesterday where she attended with the assembly where the young student of 6 years old was just shot. That has been something that, has shaken the nation, as well as the recent Labor Day parade incidents. I'm overcome because I had relatives who really passed. So we need to pray, we need to get on our knees.
2 Bahamian female authors also paid courtesy calls on the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Marguerite Penling at Government House. Retired Principal Nursing Officer at the Princess Margaret Hospital, Emily Osadabe, shared her experience as a nurse through her book entitled The Journey. She says her book digs deep into the history of the nursing profession dating back to the 1960s.
So you have to really be prepared to share yourself with the country. Because we attend the same church, due to protocol, of course, we had to contain ourselves and just do the formal things.
Retired police officer Elaine Sands presented her book to the Governor General entitled 7 Tips to Enlighten and Empower Those Living in an Abusive Relationship. Sands says she is privileged to present her book to the Governor General and shares her inspiration.
Well, I was inspired based on working those communities as a law enforcement officer. When I worked those communities, I saw the physical suffering, I saw the emotional suffering of individuals living in families, in abusive families, okay? And working with these victims and perpetrators, it inspired me to put together a booklet to assist them in identifying the problem.
Stay close. Jonathan Benson is up next with sports. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, first at 6, your news leader.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we feed ourselves?
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evo.
Starting June 14th, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas proudly presents the exciting games of the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia. Watch all the thrilling action as 32 teams play for 64 heart-stopping matches in 11 different Russian cities until the sensational final match on July 15th in Moscow for the coveted place in the 2021 FIFA Confederations Cup competition. Tune into ZNS TV this June for the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia, and be sure to contact your ZNS account executive or the ZNS sales office at 502-3800 to book your special FIFA World Cup 2018 sponsorship package. ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Some NBA news starting us off. DeAndre Ayton had his first and only pre-draft workout yesterday. And to no one's surprise, that workout was for the team that owns the #1 pick, the Phoenix Suns.
Watching him in Arizona, he was in a certain role. And, that role was pretty wide-ranging because he is a versatile player, especially at 7'1". He's tremendously versatile and unique. But here, we saw him, finish a lot around the basket. And then we put him out to the mid-range and then out to the NBA 3 offensively. Defensively, we put him in some different pick-and-roll coverage situations and saw how he guarded the pick-and-roll and how he moved his feet, in different ways.
I'm the best competitor in this draft. I won't say I'm the best player. I won't say that, but I'm going to say on the competitive level, I am the best competitor. I don't think there's nobody like me. I play my heart on both ends of the floor, and I give it my all. I played hard through the whole season, and I think I deserve to be the #1 pick.
On to the WNBA now. Jonquel Jones and the 5-1 Connecticut Sun look to get back on the winning track tonight. Coming off their first loss of the season, they traveled to the Big Apple to face off with the 2-3 New York Liberty. Still on news in the pro basketball ranks, Tavario Miller a double-double last night in Mexico. He had 18 points and 17 rebounds as Los Mochis, they took down Navalata 97-87. Minor league baseball players Chavez Young and Jazrado Chisholm have been selected to play in the 54th annual Midwest League All-Star Game June 19th. Young has excelled in his first season in the league, a .328 average, which is 4th best in the league. He's also tied for 2nd in doubles with 17, 3rd in total bases 98, tied for 3rd in hits with 65 and extra base hits with 24. He's also 4th in runs scored with 39. Chisholm leads his team with 7 home runs and sits 3rd overall with 45 hits. Both young men in action last night. Chisholm 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in as King County took down Peoria 7-1. Young also 2 for 4 in RBI and stole his 16th base of the season. Lansing, they won 2-0 over Bowling Green. On to track and field now. Donald Thomas competing today at the Bislett Games in Norway. He finished 3rd in the men's high jump. He cleared 7.4.5. The NCAA Outdoor Championships also taking place in Eugene, Oregon. One Bahamian competition yesterday. Liberty's Denzel Pratt tossed the javelin 213 feet 10 inches for 17th overall. The ladies go at it tonight in the women's 100 hurdle prelims. Padria Seymour from Texas, Heat 2, Lane 5, while Purdue's Devin Charlton, Heat 3, Lane 4. As for Houston's Brianne Bethel, she has double duty. She'll run the 100 semis, Heat 3, Lane 1, then come back an hour later in the 200 semis. She's in Heat 2, Lane 2. Back here at home, the City Bowling League playoffs concluded last night at Mario's with the E&U water coolers outdueling the defending champion 10-back strikers 4-3 in a spectacular best of 7. The water coolers took an early 3-1 lead only to see 10-back come back and tie the series at 3. But the water coolers, they refused to collapse under the pressure and went on to edge out in that 7th and final game, 8:59 to 8:44, to claim their first championship. Top players from the newly crowned champions were Tara Johnson, a 174 average. Earl Pratt had a 170 average. Mario Brown led the strikers with an impressive 195 average. He got assistance from Lee Davis, who finished with a 1 .80 average. Well, 2 games tonight in the Province Softball Association. The Alive Strikers and Platinum Pool Sharks play in the Ladies Opener. That's followed by the CNS Hitmen and the Commando Security Truckers. The 3rd annual KFC Labor Day Cricket Tournament in the books. The Police took home the championship trophy, beating the Lions in the final.
The Lions won the toss. They put us in the bat. They scored. They scored 68, and we had to go in and defend the run. Top batter Mark Taylor got out early, but I was able to go in and score. I scored about 53 runs to save the match.
There's your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
What amazing idea to go into the communities and into our world and into our country and into the homes of people and into the lives of outstanding and extraordinary people all over the country. I think that telling those stories, again, helps us to connect to the notion of okay, how can I live a better life? How can I be better? This is how this person achieved it. Where can I find common ground so that my life can match up as well? And so Ordinary People is an amazing, amazing concept, and I'm excited to be a part of the Ordinary People family.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
You thought it was the talk of the town, but get ready for more.
More energy, more excitement, exhilarating, compelling, informative, educational talk on The Conversation.
I'm Shanique Miller. Pull up a chair with a cup of tea and join me weekdays at 4 on Radio Bahamas, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and The Light, 810 AM for The Conversation. I'm excited to have you around the table.
Welcome to the best of sports world.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence, we cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
What amazing idea to go into the communities and into our world and into our country and into the homes of people and into the lives of outstanding and extraordinary people all over the country. I think that telling those stories, again, helps us to connect to the notion of okay, how can I live a better life? How can I be better? This is how this person achieved it. Where can I find common ground so that my life can match up as well? And so Ordinary People is an amazing, amazing concept, and I'm excited to be a part of the Ordinary People family.
In Caribbean news this Thursday, Barbadians will be consulted on the issue of criminalizing marijuana and implementing fixed election dates and term limits for prime ministers under the new government. That was one of the disclosures made by Governor General Dame Sandra Mason as she delivered the throne speech yesterday at the start of the new parliamentary term. Still on Caribbean news, earlier this week, cabinet ministers in the St. Lucian government were briefed on the geothermal resource development project to inform what the government of St. Lucian needs to do to advance the project to the next phase of drilling. This comes just weeks after cabinet approval of the National Energy Transition Strategy. And the Royal Bank of Canada has revealed plans to introduce contactless payments across the Caribbean by enabling tap and pay capability on its point-of-sale devices in the region. It will be implementing the plan over the next few weeks to become the first bank in the Caribbean to provide this service.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, we had a couple of spotty showers around the islands there. As you can see, we have an area moving across Grand Bahama and a second area moving over Abaco as we speak. But outside our studios, we have cloudy skies, temperature 86 degrees, relative humidity at 61%. The winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure 30.03 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's a look at news in the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. But don't go anywhere. News from the North is up next.
The Coalition of Concerned Citizens continuing its campaign of lowering the cost of electricity. Union executives lamenting the use of casual labor. And a popular band leader to be honored.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shoshana Rolfe-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Coalition of Concerned Citizens continuing its campaign of lowering the cost of electricity in West Grand Bahama. During a town meeting at the Mount Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock, residents heard about a viable option being proposed for the Western District. Sabrina Brown reports.
The Northern Bahamas Utilities Holdings Company Limited is proposing a new power company for the Western District, as the West End agreement with the Grand Bahama Power Company is set to expire in September of this year. President of Northern Bahamas Utilities, Carlton Bosfield, says Grand Bahama residents are now paying 32 to 45 cents per kilowatt hour compared to Florida's 10 to 11 cents per kilowatt hour. His company is proposing a firm solar power plant.
I was looking at the flyer that was used by the coalition, and it showed solar panels. That's what's called a grid-level ground-mount solar system. We are talking about installing a system like that, but not just solar panels. To firm it up, we would actually have them backed up by generators that would use propane fuel, which is another very clean fuel. Two big advantages to this: the reduction in the cost of electricity and the reduction in the carbon footprint of West Grand Bahama.
He says the new power company will be a fully integrated electric utility in West Grand Bahama.
We're not talking about we would generate the power, you would pay a lower cost, but you go and pay it to somebody else. No, the power company that would be created, it's a new fully integrated power company. Fully integration means you start from the generation of the electricity all the way to the end consumer, which is once it gets into your house and you see it manifest itself in your electric appliances. This new company would be responsible for all of that.
According to Bosfield, this new power plant could also bring down the cost of electricity for consumers in the Freeport area.
We've sized the plant so that we would have enough surplus power to actually sell some of it back to Grand Bahama Power at a reduced cost. And the intent is, hopefully, this will help them to be incentivized to reduce the cost of electricity to people in Freeport.
Leader of the Coalition of Concerned Citizens, Pastor Eddie Victor, says the high cost of electricity on Grand Bahama continues to have a negative impact on economic development, and he says this proposed power company will have major benefits for the island.
Number one, the rates of electricity will be reduced in West Grand Bahama and East Grand Bahama by 33 to 40%. This new proposed power company will employ approximately 60 Bahamians in West Grand Bahama and approximately somewhere between 20 in East Grand Bahama. It will be Bahamian owned and operated.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
A union executive is appealing to the powers that be to pay special attention to the workforce here on Grand Bahama, particularly in the industrial and tourism sectors. As you'll hear in this report, the union is lamenting the use of permanent workers being replaced by temporary workers.
Vice President for the Trade Union Congress in the Northern Bahamas, Kirkland Russell, says the union has been more than accommodating by meeting with government officials and relevant stakeholders on various issues, as opposed to using aggressive tactics. But he says the time has come to pay special attention to a new trend in Grand Bahama, where many permanent workers are being replaced for casual workers.
When we look at it, you have a billion-dollar company called the Freeport Container Port, Borco, Shipyard, Bradford Marine, Bahama Rock, you name it. You don't find there's no country, I believe, in the Caribbean where you have that much equity in one place. Yet, when you look at the state of the economy in Grand Bahama, it is dying.
He believes that it is dying simply because of this replacement practice by bigger companies on the island of Grand Bahama. Casual workers oftentimes replace permanent workers for less pay, more work, and no benefits. But he believes that this is destroying the workforce.
We need help on this island. The workforce on this island has to be regulated and has to reflect improvement, betterment. You know, we can't take workers back in the country. We can't take workers pre-1800. You know, it is total nonsense when you look at these major companies using schools as employment agencies to hire workers.
This union leader believes that something must be done for the protection of all workers.
There's no place in the Employment Act can you find the word casual worker. You only find worker. Well, then how we allow these billion-dollar companies to come in here and casualize the workforce in Grand Bahama? Doesn't have nothing to do with the union. This has to do with the powers to be working in tripartite with the union, the worker, the union, and the employer, along with the government, sitting down and making sure that things are done with two things, you know, with justice and fairness.
In other news, we are 1 week into the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season, and all of the major predictions point to an active one. Coastal communities on Grand Bahama were ravaged by storms of the past, and now the Ministry of Works is taking steps to safeguard residents and their properties in one of the most vulnerable areas of the island. Sabrina Brown has more on this report.
A no-bill zone order was put in place for communities along the southern coastline following Hurricanes Francis and Jean in 2004. And following the recent devastating storms, the Ministry of Works is now enforcing that policy. Officer in charge on Grand Bahama, Tony Hudson Bannister.
Those communities of Mactown, Lewis Yard, Pindus Point, Smiths Point, Hepburn Town, anything that is along the southern coastline, there will be no further approvals for anything new to be built in those areas. Refurbishments, we will look at it and advise accordingly, but as it stands, until we are able to update what we are looking at in the building code, those are deemed a no-build zone.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Iram Lewis, says there could be major changes to the island's current building code as it is now under review.
Maybe it should be now part of our building code where it's mandatory that either hurricane shutters are put on these buildings prior to getting your occupancy certificate, or impact-resistant windows, and even those that are already occupied. We want to encourage residents to now put up those hurricane shutters or make it part of our code. And additionally, we want to arrest construction in flood zones.
With the storms coming greater every year, we're now looking at, in specific, the connection detail with the stilts onto an existing structure. We are still vetting what is being classified as something to put a building on stilts in these areas.
Hudson Bannister notes that any property owner wishing to conduct refurbishments must now follow strict guidelines.
Anything that is being refurbished fully on the southern coastline, those architectural drawings would have to have been approved by a structural engineer and stamped off on such, who will take full responsibility for any connection detail that they would have had submitted into our offices.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears now, ZNS 8:10 a.m. taking the community outreach program to the administrator's office in Freeport this week. Officials are hoping to get a head start by addressing all issues related to shelters and shelter management. Kimberly Mullings was there.
Be also ready.
Island Administrator Preston Cunningham says shelters across Grand Bahama are up to par, with the exception of one.
We have one or two matters of concern that the government is presently addressing, and this relates to the gym in 8 Mile Walk, where we would have had a number of issues with the restroom facilities and one or two other things. But the Ministry of Public Works would have been in here already. They would have done the assessment. The report is available and in the appropriate hands.
NEMA officer Tammy Mitchell says one of the most important aspects of hurricane preparation is the inspection of shelters before the hurricane season to ensure that they are in a state of readiness.
Checking the bathroom facilities, checking the electrical, checking the evacuation routes, checking the facility itself, even if it comes to Ministry of Works when they're checking for the technical aspect of it to make sure that the facility can serve as a shelter. But we also want to encourage persons that when you're going into these shelters, there is some rules and regulations that you do have to follow.
The NEMA official added that they offer adequate training to volunteers at shelters.
There's a 3-day workshop that you would have to attend that will qualify you to be a shelter service manager, and that entails very intense training from as far as when you first come into the facility, while you're in the facility, even after, to ensure that when we're using these facilities, they're turned back over to the persons in an orderly manner.
Deputy Director at Social Services, Paula Marshall, says they work alongside NEMA in the event of a disaster.
There to bring the basic necessities that they would need, which would be their medical needs, basic foodstuffs, making sure they have their documents, blankets, basic things that they're going to need for the duration of a hurricane, which is most likely about 2 days. And then in the aftermath, Social Services goes out to do inspection in terms of what is the damage that has been done and to determine who needs shelter post-hurricane.
Pastor Robert Lockhart, Grand Bahama Christian Council president, says as a body, they are responsible for ensuring religious leaders mobilize their congregation to be of assistance to their members, the communities in which they are a part of, and then the greater community at large.
Well, I think our main role as a Christian council is to encourage the Christian community to be neighborly, to encourage pastors and their churches to make themselves available to help in any way possible, using your facilities as shelters, providing counseling, prayer, support to people during this time, especially in the community where you're involved.
First Baptist Church has been one of the longest-serving shelters on Grand Bahama. Reverend Dr. Keith Russell urges his colleagues to step up to the plate and offer their churches as necessary.
I plead to my brothers and sisters who are pastors of churches in the community to participate in this process because it allows us to house more people in the event of a major disaster, because we have about 50,000 people. I'm understanding now we have space for 2,500, and so we need everybody on board in this regard. And it is the Christian thing to do, the righteous thing to do, the just thing to do.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kim. And don't forget to answer tonight's trivia question to win a ticket to Tyrus Riley's concert. The question is, when is the new date for the GB Homecoming concert? The winner will be announced at the end of tonight's newscast. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Rain
or shine, there's one place that you can always depend on for emergency hurricane supplies or everyday items. Whether it's Ace Hardware, Housewares and Paint, or furniture and accessories from Rooms to Go, or Radio Shack Electronics, the one place that carries Craftsman tools, tablets, routers, computer networking supplies, generators, and so much more is right around the corner on Queens Highway. That place is Dolly Madison Home Center. Rain or shine. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Come on down now.
Last year, I fell in love with Belinda. But this year, I want to just kick it up a notch.
Did you hear about our new bamboo line?
When he started talking about you can still on TV.
Hold on, Dr. Love. Not that type of bamboo you're talking about. You ain't hear about the nice bamboo sheet. And you can get it in all colors. And if you ain't want it in the sheets, Dr. Love, you can get it in the pillows.
Thank God for Island Bedding.
Come and visit me at number 5, Queens Highway, Island Bedding.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The 2018 Bahama Host graduation exercise was held at Calvary Temple Assemblies of God. The program is focused on training Bahamians for expansion, growth, and excellence. Our Kimberly Mullings tells us that over 200 persons in 14 cohorts successfully completed the program this year on Grand Bahama Island.
Students from Alpha Omega Christian Academy, Mary Serve of the Sea Catholic Academy, 8 Mile Rock High School, Jack Hayward High School, and St. George's High School, as well as Fresh Start students and public service drivers, graduated from the Certified Service Professional program known as Bahama Host. Keynote speaker Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson congratulated the graduates of the program and admonished them to further their studies to benefit themselves and the Bahamas. He advised them on success.
Successful people find opportunities in places where others complain. People usually complain when there's a problem, where there is a lack of some service or a need that has not been met. So I encourage you tonight to find a problem to solve. If you find a problem to solve, you will always make money. If you look for a need to fulfill, you will always make money.
Senator Thompson told the graduates to remember God.
I promise you, there will come a time when you will face some challenges in your life. That your mother cannot help you, your father cannot help you, your friends cannot help you, your uncle and auntie cannot help you. And there's going to come a time when you are going to have to call upon God for yourself. So I say, in the midst of whatever it is that you're doing, do not forget God.
Director of Industry Training with the Ministry of Tourism, Ian Ferguson, was also on hand for the Bahama Host graduation in Freeport. He says that the team is excited about the program in Grand Bahama, and after 40 years of existence, they're now looking at rebranding Bahama Host by launching a new program in July and invite Bahamians to be a part of it.
We have 5 fresh new modules, starting with Proud to be Bahamian, then going into tourism today that deals with the state of the industry, where we are against our competitors. We look at the Bahamian service experience, because obviously service is what we do. We look at a special module that we now call Global Impact. And so we're going to be looking at not only the business of customer diversity and cross-culture, but also the very important conversational Spanish, French, Mandarin for the industry. And of course, we wrap up with empowerment.
Ferguson notes that they're also proud of their corporate and community programs. They have been in the inner cities for the last 16 months, identifying unemployed Bahamians and offering them Bahama host training and other life skills. Grand Bahama is on the list.
Everything from financial and health, wellness, conflict resolution. We go into Microsoft Office applications and certification in that. We have certifications in first aid. We partner with the Red Cross. And then, of course, we have quite a number of other survival skills kinds of programs as well.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNAS Network News.
Residents of Grand Bahama will be coming together this weekend to celebrate a man who has given much to the community. The One Bahamas Committee, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, the St. John's Native Baptist Church Marching Band, and the Legends Marching Band have joined forces to host a gospel concert to raise funds for well-known band leader Leslie McDonald's medical expenses. The event, which will be held at the Jack Hayward Gym this Saturday at 5 p.m., promises to be exciting. Organizers say international and local gospel groups will be as a part of this gospel concert as well.
We all say Brother Mark, most of us, I should say. But we're asking all uniform branches and uniform personnels, schools, etc., brigades, and all of my Scout members to be present at 4 p.m. on Sunday.
McDonald and his wife have been pioneers in youth development on Grand Bahama Island. And we think that it is most worthy to have a concert to assist him.
Me joining the band with my kids, I've watched Brother Mark give unselfish of his time. And persons like Miss Pinder from Walter Barker, she knows of Brother Mark's time that he spent, because on Mondays, Brother Mark spent with the kids one-on-one, teaching them music.
And Mr. Thompson mentioned honoring Brother Mark in this way. I couldn't say no. And I think none of us could say no, because he was always there. When you called on him, no matter how short the notice, he always accommodated, especially One Bahamas and also Independence. And I'm sure what we're doing now will be appreciated.
And once again, the concert for Leslie McDonald will be held this Sunday at 5 p.m. at the Jack Hayward Gym. And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Hi and welcome. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Judy T. from Nassau asked, my friend told me that he has severe muscle pains for the past 2 days after lifting weights at the gym. Should he see a doctor? Thank you for your question. It seems that your friend might have overworked himself at the gym, and some muscle injury and strain might have occurred. It is possible that he may have a condition known as rhabdomyolysis. This is a serious syndrome due to direct or indirect muscle injury. It results from the death of muscle fibers and release of contents into the bloodstream, which can lead to complications. There are many causes for rhabdomyolysis, some of which include the use of alcohol or illegal drugs like cocaine, extreme muscle strain, especially in someone who is an untrained athlete, severe burns, crush injury, or bad fall, medications like statins, which are used to lower cholesterol, and seizures. So to answer your question, Judy, I recommend that he is seen by a doctor immediately, especially if he feels dehydrated, has red or brown urine, or has stopped producing urine. With prompt treatment, he can experience a full recovery. But if treatment is delayed, he may be at a risk of serious complications, including kidney failure. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
New Day Spa has been open about 6-7 years now, and it started off with a small vision and it just expanded over the years through the grace of God, I believe. And it now offers massage, nails, manicures, pedicures, body wraps, body scrubs, facials. Normally our packages can run from $150 to $200, but given the state of the economy right now, we decided to keep them to about $120, $130. And the first one is Unwrap Peace. We have Unwrap Serenity. We have the Unwrap Relaxation package. We're located on the Mall Drive in the Millennium House on the second floor.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Steppin' Out. Satisfy your style habits with shoes for every occasion. Steppin' Out, when you want to put your best foot forward.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Balearia, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick with Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers, Dollar, Thrifty, Hertz, and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Be a part of the Down Home experience at Southfest on Saturday, July 7th from 3 p.m. until at St. Vincent de Paul School Grounds in Hunters.
Chimney, new government, give thanks. Sing it.
Yes, Freeport, that's Tyrus Riley, your singer. Do remember, June 16, have no fear. We will be there. Sing Tyrus Riley, niceness increase. You don't know it, guy already. The rain start the first one. That Jah works, a blessing. I watch out. The simple things, them are your blessings. So we're ready up this time. June 16, rock and forward in. Well clean.
Are your blessing, and you don't notice your blessings. You pick it with the shoes by your feet. Now pick and choose the friends where you keep. You now watch where you eat. When last you get a good sleep, the simple things are your blessings. Simple things are your blessing, your blessing. Simple things are your blessing. You better notice your blessing.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Topping sports, the 8th annual West Grand Bahamas Summer League basketball tournament. They're gearing up to start later this month, and Kimberly Mullings has all the details.
President of the West Grand Bahama Community Sporting Association, Ross Burrows, says this year will be exciting.
We're anticipating a big league this year because everybody's expressing interest. We have a team in every community will be participating in West Grand Bahama. The ages are 12 and under, 15 and under, 17 and under, and open.
With the school year quickly coming to a close and the summer break fast approaching, Burrows says the initiative behind this year's program is to keep young men off the streets and on the court.
We are seeing changes in the young men with attitude-wise. Some of them come to the camp, lost as a bad, don't know nothing but basketball. When they leave at least knowing the basic of basketball. So even though it's a summer league, we still try to teach you the basic of basketball.
He added that kids will not only leave with knowledge of the sport, but with supplies needed for the new school year.
This year we want to go and try to do some back-to-school bags with books for the kids that participated in the league to give back something before the school term is started.
Food and drinks will be supplied throughout the program, and at the end of the Summer League, attendees can also look forward to the annual fun day. Kimberly Mullings, ZNESTOL Sports.
Now, the West Grand Bahama Summer Basketball League, that will commence June 16th through August 11th, and that will be on every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that's a check on sports.
by Freeport Jewelers in Port Lucaya. Fashion starts here.
Tired of the endless bank fees and long lines? The Grand Bahama Cooperative Credit Union is the solution to making your money work for you by providing you with free financial counseling, higher interest on savings plans, and lower interest rates on loans. Savings products such as Christmas and vacation club, fixed deposits, and annuity savings allow our members to prepare for today and tomorrow without all of the hassle. Join satisfied Bahamians who left their banking frustrations behind. Open an account with GBCCU 352-4139.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Mo Davis Beauty Zone. Be beautiful, be you. Located at number 1 Britannia Mini Mall, Caravelle Beach.
This month alone, I reduced my power bill by over $300 by purchasing a solar system from Northern Bahamas Utility Company. My power bill is now $16. Can you believe it?
Here's another reason why owning a solar system from Northern Bahamas Utilities is right for you. Stop by today at number 8 Oak Street or call us at 225-0766 extension 106 and ask about our in-house financing or lease-to-own option. See you today.
And of course, already we have a winner. That winner is Vardo Simmons. You can stop by our ZNS studios tomorrow and pick up your ticket for the Tyrus Riley concert. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS news team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report. There's good news for VAT exemption linked to your BPL bill, the pullback that thousands of consumers will benefit from. Also ahead, the tighter security measures the $70 million National Security Allocation will fund, and armed robbery gone awry. What happened before the country's latest murder victim was shot to death? The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Good news for BPL consumers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, more Bahamians will be able to benefit from the value-added tax waiver on residential electricity bills. After promising earlier this week during the Pinewood constituency meeting that the government will revisit the decision to waive VAT on residential electricity bills of $100 or less, Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, announced that the government has finalized its decision to do so. In his contribution to the 2018-2019 budget communication in the House of Assembly on Wednesday, Mr. Turnquest said residents with bills of $200 or less are now eligible for the value-added tax waiver.
We are also extending the electricity bill VAT exemption ceiling from $100 per month to $200 per month. That means that some 63,000 of the 90,000 BPL residential customers will now benefit. Can't take it up no more. Again, this will apply to all licensed utilities in the Bahamas, and it will take effect come August 1st, 2018. Once you hit the $200 limit, you can pay VAT on the whole bill. All right? Because we're helping people who need help.
Well, yesterday, the Minister of National Security also gave his contribution to the budget. DeAndre Williamson tells us about key allocations there.
Approximately $70 million is expected to be allocated in the budget for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Minister of National Security Marvin Dames, in his budget contribution, outlined fiscal plans for the country's law enforcement agencies.
The budget allocation for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force,
for the fiscal period 2018-2019 is projected at $69.9 million, of which $59.8 million is for recurrent expenditure and $10.1 million is for capital expenditure. This represents an overall decrease of some $6.7 million over the last fiscal period. Salary emoluments accounts for some $53,697,954.
Dame says over the past 5 years, the recruitment of manpower on the Defense Force has not kept pace with the demand, and as a result, a manpower audit will be carried out to aid this need. He noted a national security report highlighting that the Department of Corrections has a fleet of 47 vehicles, but only 15 are operational. The fleet hasn't been replaced in a decade.
The recommendation to meet this demand at the department is for the acquisition of some 35 vehicles of various types at an estimated cost of $1,374,663. The procurement of the fleet will be done by the Ministry of Finance.
As for the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the government plans to expand the closed-circuit television program, which over the past 10 years has helped police in the fight against crime.
The sum of $3.3 million is provided to expand the CCTV system throughout the remaining entry and exit points in hotspot communities throughout New Providence. The provision also includes license detection and facial recognition capabilities.
For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Centerville Member of Parliament Reese Chipman is making it clear that he does not support the government's 12% value-added tax increase. In his contribution to the debate in the budget communication, Chipman says the added tax would have a significant impact on Bahamians.
However, the move to 12%, an increase of 60%, is a tough sell. The Bahamian economy is envied by the region. I have heard persons comparing us to the region and emphasizing that it is the lowest. Well, the region does not even come close to our dollar for dollar value. And they are far from close to our debt to GDP ratio, which is tapped to be around 57%. As a matter of fact, as we studied VAT in the region, we realized that as VAT increased, so did debt. So unless earmarked for debt reduction, we will face similar circumstances, that Centerville is not in support of a full 12% VAT increase, as we believe it will be channeled to additional bureaucracy, leading to a tougher business model and more hardship on the people of Centerville and the entire Bahamas.
Member of Parliament for St. Barnabas says hard choices must be made to secure the country's future, and that is what the Minnis administration is doing with its budget, which will put the country on the right course again and strengthen its finances. While the proposed increase in value-added tax to 12% has drawn lots of public criticism, Mr. Cartwright says he's willing to put his political future on the line for the sake of future generations.
Maybe there will be a political price for the hard choices that has to be made at the end of this budget. Maybe I will have to pay that political price. But I tell you this, Mr. Speaker, I would rather pay that price than the heavy price that the Bahamian people will have to pay should I not make that choice. This is not about politics for me, Mr. Speaker. This is about my country. And so, if for my country to succeed, I have to suffer a political loss, then let it be because of the love I have for this country.
Now, Cartwright, who also noted that the country did not get into the financial position it's in overnight, says he will not pass blame around. Cartwright, also chairman of the Public Parks and Beaches Authority, urged Bahamians to take pride in their environment and do their part to keep the country clean. He also applauded staff of the authority for their work.
We are working along with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, who've been exceptional in their assistance in reining in littering and dumping culprits that continue to deface our landscape and open spaces. Mr. Speaker, we are presently engaged in the second installment of removing unauthorized and expired signs around the island. Also, Mr. Speaker, tree trimming exercises have started around the island in preparation for this year's hurricane season, and we pray to God that the Bahamas will be spared again.
Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, Carlton Bowleg, also spoke today, noting that the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, will experience transformation as it reshapes to become more effective. The Member of Parliament also noted that BAMSI, with nearly 300 students enrolled, will attract its largest cohort of 100 students in the fall.
We also expect to enroll for the first time, Mr. Speaker, international student during the upcoming academic year, which will further the support legitimacy of the academic institution, establishing it as a credible institution within the field of education.
Well, still ahead tonight, another homicide recorded here in the capital. And find out why the Member of Parliament for Angliston is outraged. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell & Letty, designed for extra miles.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank, everything we do it for you.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection, making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken, bundled with a variety of delicious sides, is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
There's nothing as powerful as knowing where you belong. No more waiting. It's time to come home. Come home to friendly smiles. Come home to convenience. Come home to more interest on savings and lower fees. Come home to our bank and your bank. Come home to Bank of the Bahamas, your bank of solutions.
Let's celebrate our islands. Cheers to the new world. The Hopetown Lighthouse and Bahama Parrot. Coral Gardens of Acklins and Crooked Island. Let's celebrate Andros. Let's celebrate the Grand Bahama Shipyard. Sport fishing in Bimini. The sweet sounds of Rake and Scrape. Eleuthera Sweet Pineapple. Our world-famous swimming pigs. Let's celebrate our national bird. Let's celebrate Long Island. Our sea turtles in Mayaguana. John Canoe. Let's celebrate Ragged Island. Click, the beer of the Bahamas, celebrating 30 years.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Plus, with 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The country recorded its 41st murder for the year after a man believed to be in his late 20s to early 30s was gunned down last night. Our Cleopatra Murphy was on the scene.
The wails of onlookers tore through the air shortly after the body of a Haitian man was loaded onto a stretcher and carted away by a hearse. Police say he was the victim of an attempted armed robbery. A large crowd lined the street across from the liquor store on Carmichael and Bacardi Roads, not far from where we understand the victim, who had been shot, ran before collapsing. Chief Superintendent of Police Solomon Cash says police received a call after 9:30 p.m.
The officers, once they arrived on the scene, they discovered a large crowd of people who were gathered in this area, where they received certain information that a male had been shot and was lying just to the rear of the establishment behind me. The only information we're working with thus far is that shortly around 9:30, the victim pulled up at this location where he was approached by a lone gunman who attempted to rob him. As a result, he was shot and he ran off and he collapsed.
A single bullet hole was left in the front passenger side door of the vehicle the man had been driving. Police officers stood guarding and were busy processing the scene where the murder took place. At that point, Cash says there were no significant leads, but with a number of armed robberies and crime in general, police are worried.
We're always concerned about increase of any category of crime. Again, we would say to members of the public who are moving about to be vigilant as to their surrounding and to alert the police if they see anything of a suspicious nature in their areas.
This is the third murder recorded this week after a man died in hospital after he was shot on Homestead Street Monday night. Hours later, 7-year-old Cameron Cooper was caught in the crossfire as he left his home on Piper Lane to head for school early Tuesday morning. Cash, speaking to a spike in armed robberies, says police presence has been pretty consistent, but they make the necessary changes to address crime hotspots.
When you look at the demographic of New Providence, it's widely spread. So when we have incidences that are concentrated in any one particular area, then our manpower resources would shift and we would concentrate in dealing with those areas that are high in crime.
Cash again appealed to members of the public to be aware of their surroundings at all times and urged anyone who would have been in the area of the latest homicide to contact police at 911 or 919. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Member of Parliament for Anglerston, Glenys Hannah Martin, is weighing in on the killing of Columbus Primary School student Cameron Cooper, who lived in her constituency. The Anglerston MP says his death is not a statistic and Bahamians shouldn't get accustomed to it. She says she's outraged over the murder as it's the third time a young child has been killed in this country over the last 2 years. She says more must be done to protect our little darlings.
And I'm thinking about it now. I'm trying to organize a meeting. I've spoken to Parliamentary Secretary in Urban Renewal. I've spoken to the police. I've spoken to the social worker that was on the scene at the time when I was there. That we need to hold a community meeting. I'm inviting community leaders to step up and to take ownership of the community and the government and the government agencies support leaders in the community and residents in the community in ensuring safe environments. The death of that child is unacceptable, and we should be on all high alert. I'm posting his photograph wherever I can so we can put a face to a 7-year-old child who was getting ready to go to school.
In other news tonight, the Bahamas could see a decrease in small direct foreign investment. At least that's the way Bahamas Contractors Association President Leonard Sands sees it. Sands told ZNS News on Wednesday that the proposed 12% value-added tax rate increase could cause investors to turn away from conducting small projects in the future.
The challenge is the smaller FDI projects, when someone wants to come in and do just a small shopping plaza or an offshore bank. That's not going to get a heads of agreement. That may be only a $10 million job. That's too small to get a heads of agreement. And that project, which was eyed on starting, that investor now says, I'm going to pay 4% more in VAT taxes. That pushes my threshold outside what I want to spend. Maybe I decide not to do this project anymore in the Bahamas.
There's been a heated debate over the large number of foreign laborers to Bahamian workers currently working on the current phase of the Point development in downtown Nassau. President of the Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, told ZNS News during that contractors meeting on Wednesday that he's met with the labor director on many occasions who has assured him that the issue will be resolved.
We will have a meeting again with the stakeholders from the point, and we will, one, get further clarity on how local contractors and laborers will add to the numbers. Two, he has given our association and Bahamian contractors nationally the assurance that we will be beyond the numbers of 70 to 30 at the point. And I'm going to hold him to that number. He said there will be a part of the project and a point in the project where there will almost be 85 to 100%. Right now, we are still monitoring the project. We see that there are a few more noticeable Bahamians entering the gates. So I will be the first to admit that I've seen with my eyes more Bahamians entering the gates. They are still in the minority and not the majority. But we have to go by the words of the minister, who says that the phase that this inequity is going to be over very shortly.
Garbage disposal on Harbor Island seems to be an ongoing challenge for residents who live on the tiny island. For several days now, residents have been complaining about the stench from piles of garbage in front of their residences and businesses which have gone uncollected. Residents tell ZNS News that the island continues to attract hundreds of tourists and the garbage is an eyesore. Member of Parliament Ricky Mackey told us that while the incident is unfortunate, collection exercises are taking place.
Understand the problems that the contractor that's hired by local government is experiencing. As anyone, equipment breaks down, and I think his main garbage disposal truck has been down a little while, and he's been attempting to do the collection with a flatbed truck, and it's very difficult because of the amount of homes and places that he has to collect the garbage from. I know that they have approached me about seeing if there could be some assistance in allowing them access to the transfer station in the night. Because of the time that it requires to take up the garbage on the entire island, they have been denied access, and so he has to pick it up during the middle of the day.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Hey!
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News Thursday. I'm Altaviz Munnings. In its monthly economic and financial development report for April, the Central Bank of the Bahamas indicated that the modest growth in the economy was sustained during the month. The central bank is also reporting data from the government's budgetary operations for the 9 months of the current fiscal year that an $88.4 million or 31.6% reduction in the deficit is now $191.6 million. This reflected an $80.3 million or 4.6% decline in total expenditure. Meanwhile, from our number one industry, the central bank report states that Ministry of Tourism data showed a 2.8% improvement in total arrivals, while sea arrivals decreased by 1%. The central bank's report further indicated that external reserves expanded by $95 million. In other business news, the Department of Statistics also recently releasing its 2017 National Accounts Report. The preliminary results revealed an increase of 2.7% in gross domestic product. That's at current market prices. The main industries contributing to this GDP growth included construction, wholesale and retail trade, business services of a professional nature, administrative business services, and arts and other services. Statistics officials also indicating that the expenditure approach to GDP revealed that gross fixed capital formation also grew by 13%, due mainly to ongoing capital works as a continuation of major infrastructural repairs that were required after Hurricane Matthew. Additionally, government consumption increased by 12%, while consumption by households grew by 9%. And in international business news, China's number 2 telecommunications equipment maker, ZTE, secured a lifeline from the Trump administration on Thursday after agreeing to pay a $1 billion fine and overhaul leadership in a deal that will lift a ban on its doing business with U.S. suppliers. Now, the agreement comes as U.S. President Donald Trump seeks trade concessions from China, and negotiations continue to avoid a trade war between the world's 2 largest economies. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News Thursday. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
demand for a vacation in the islands of Bahamas is mounting, so much so that airlines are looking to increase flights to the destination, so says Senior Director of Airlift Development Tyrone Sawyer.
For the past several months, the airlines report back that they're seeing quite a bit of demand, and this is supported by decisions by airlines like Delta, for instance, which would have increased the amount of flights and the amount of seats it offers out of Atlanta to Nassau. But also, we've seen quite a bit of increase in seat capacity into North Eleuthera. We've also seen a tremendous amount of increase over the past 2 years on Delta from Atlanta to Marsh Harbor, Abaco.
And Delta Airlines is not the only airline looking to bring more visitors to the islands of the Bahamas.
American Airlines has just made the decision to add flights from Charlotte, Saturday-only service into Marsh Harbor and into North Eleuthera. And this comes on the heel of a decision last year by American to do Saturday-only service from Charlotte into Georgetown, Exuma. And for American, Charlotte is a major hub, almost to the same level as Miami. So we're very pleased about that.
Mr. Sawyer says airlines like Air Canada and WestJet have increased their flights from Canada, and in Latin America, Copa Airlines has also seen a surge of demand for the islands of the Bahamas. As a result, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation is investing more marketing dollars in those locations. For the Tourism Today Network, I'm Kendia Smith.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Well, we're the Nutty Bavarian Bahamas. We specialize in glazed nuts, being cashews, almonds, pecans, and peanuts. Well, we're offering a 3-tier savings deal. It's 5% for the silver, 15% for the gold, and 25% for platinum members. You would call us at the number 698-2126, let us know what tier you're on, and then we'll work from there. So the discount will be applied to whatever you purchase from us. Normally the delivery time is within a day. You call your order in and then it's delivered the next day. But we wanted to align ourselves with a company that is as innovative as Alive. You know, they're a young upstart company, and we just felt that we would want to be on board with a company that's doing big things in the Bahamas.
There are stamps for mailing, even rubber and ink stamps, but there's only one stamp that saves you money, and you only get them at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs 15-ounce can, $1.09. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Rainbow corned beef 12-ounce can, $1.89. Libby whole kernel corn or sliced beets 15-ounce size, 99 cents. Sweet peaches, $1.99 per pound. Carolina Pride hams 10-ounce size, $2.99. Quality stamps only at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Buy Pampers and you can pin it to win it. Guess how many diaper pins are on display at Pritchard's? You could win up to $2,000 for the closest guess. Buy Pampers and pin it to win it today.
2 Bahamian female authors paid courtesy calls on the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Margaret Pindling, at Government House this week as they launched their books about social issues. Emily Osadabe, a retired principal nursing officer at the Princess Margaret Hospital, shared her experience as a nurse through her book entitled The Journey. She says her book digs deep into the history of the nursing profession dating back to 1960.
So you have to really be prepared to share yourself with the country
because we attend the same church. Due to protocol, of course, we had to contain ourselves and just do the formal things.
Well, Elaine Sands, a former senior officer of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, also presented her book to the Governor General. It's entitled 7 Tips to Enlighten and Empower Those Living in an Abusive Relationship. Sands says she's privileged to present her book to the Governor General, emphasizing, don't hide it, tackle it. She shares her inspiration.
Well, I was inspired based on working those communities as a law enforcement officer. When I worked those communities, I saw the physical suffering, I saw the emotional suffering of individuals living in families, in abusive families, okay? And working with these victims and perpetrators, it inspired me to put together a booklet to assist them in identifying the problem.
Well, stay tuned. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Your news leader will be back right after this.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Joy has something new in store for you. For even longer-lasting suds, a more powerful clean, and a delightful new scent, try Joy Orange. Try it now, and you could win a trip for 2 to Vegas, a trip for 2 to Orlando, or $1,000 cash. Just buy 2 30-ounce bottles of Joy Orange and take your receipt to purchase on Robinson Road. Try Joy Orange and enter to win today. Promotion ends June 22nd.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's PTC every day. Every day.
We are at the Golden Gates Assembly Church, where we are highlighting 120 of our nation's brightest and best. This is the Primary School Student of the Year Award.
I climbed so many mountains this time.
It is amazing from whence we came. We started in 1997, not giving out any type of financial scholarship. Till tonight, we're giving over $180,000 in cash scholarships alone, and then $35,000 in prizes. Just 22 years, and this is the first year that we've been able to give every single number.
I'm very grateful, dear ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that we are giving honor to the most precious resource that we have in our country, our children.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail,
BTC says congratulations to this year's Primary School Student of the Year, 10-year-old Remington Minnis, and congratulations to all of our recipients. I'm Corbell Piper, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
every island and every key, keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day.
Well, it's time for a check of your weather, and the heat is definitely on here in the capital. Basil, how hot did it get today?
Well, the mercury column got up to about 88 degrees, so we are flirting with those 90s, so any day now we can pop one of those. But right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family of Islands, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. It is 73 degrees in Freeport under some heavy clouds and showers also over the Green Toll Key area in Abaco, Marsh Harbor at 79 degrees. Here in the capital, 84 degrees, 82 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera at 83, 83 also in Otterstown, Cat Island, Stanley Key 84, 84 in Kemps Bay, St. Andrews, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador 83, Rum Key at 83, and we take you further south into Clarencetown, Long Island, where 83s exist again, and that extends right into Crooked Island, Ragged Island. Betsy Bay may go on at 82 degrees, Ackland's at 82, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands, the winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide will take place at 8:26 tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, winds southeast 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. And then tomorrow in the northwest and central islands, winds continue out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your tides will be low at 8:53 in the morning, high tide at 3:11 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, tomorrow, southeast winds also at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So we have a caution flag for you boaters in the southeast Bahamas tomorrow. And then taking you into Saturday, which to get started with the weekend, winds not too bad. Southeast flow once again at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 9:42 in the morning, high tide at 4:03 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, caution flags once again, southeast at 12 to 18, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Boy,
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 20 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Talking to your child about sex doesn't have to be difficult or embarrassing. Have the conversation early and often. Your home will become a safe and comfortable environment for your child to ask questions. Your child needs to hear accurate information about sex from you. This includes the basics: vaginal, oral, and anal sex, birth control, sexual assault, sexual molestation, and your family's moral beliefs. Your child needs to know that he or she can talk with you about sex. They can talk with you about their changing bodies, their feelings, their concerns, and their confusion. You don't have to know all of the answers to their questions. However, you should be willing to help them find those answers. Help them do the research. When you don't know the answers, you want to be approachable. You want them to feel comfortable talking with you about sex. Don't wait until your child asks you about sex before you find the right words. Plan ahead at every age and stage. Be prepared to discuss all kinds of sexual activity as well as same-sex relationships. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Looking to upgrade your refrigerator stove or purchase an affordable home generator? We've got the perfect solution for you. Thomas Welding and Fire is the best choice for the lowest prices in town. We carry top-of-the-line outdoor barbecue grills, air conditioners, refrigerators, stoves, generators, industrial hardware, and garden supplies with a wide assortment of tools and accessories. Open Monday through Saturday. Telephone 394-0004. BWF, we're more than just our name.
Deja Vu, Beauty and Barber Supply. We have makeup, Zuri, Maybelline, Black Opal, natural hair products like Cantu, Shea Moisturizers, and Eco Gel. We have Yucky and 24-inch Remy Body Wave, Hetty Stocking, 1609 and 1717. Get 6 for $20. We stock a variety of barber supplies, wall blades, guards, and clippers. For beauticians, hair glue, Pump It Up, Oil Sheen, 4-pound relaxer hair treatments, and shampoo by the gallon. We also sell by the case. Deja Vu. We accept credit cards. Number 1 Andrews Avenue, Market Street. Number 65 Carmichael Road, opposite Super Value Warehouse.
Where can you find amazing selections of tiles from around the world? Exquisite medallions, pool mosaics, all colorful, bright and bold. They got granite countertop for the kitchen, elegant vanity zincs for the bathroom, tile care and ruby too. Everything you need and more at the Tile King. The Tile King, located 69 Wolf Road. For more information, call 326-TILE or 326-5464.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
In today's world, things are constantly changing, so the one thing you can depend on to stay the same is quality, savings, and value. At Solomon's, you'll get real savings with unbeatable prices on everything your family needs. Solomon's, real quality, real savings, real value.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day, the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you, and staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock, and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. After 2 days of the Major League Baseball draft, a Bahamian name finally called. Pitcher Chavez Fernando was taken by the Detroit Tigers as the first pick in the 35th round. That was 1,035th overall. The 6'3", 205-pounder who attended Polk Community College started 9 games this past season. He had 63 strikeouts and 58 innings with an ERA of 3.10. From the NBA, DeAndre Ayton had his first and only pre-draft workout yesterday. And to no one's surprise, that workout was for the team that owns the #1 pick, the Phoenix Suns.
I want to be the best two-way player coming into the league and, being a shot rim protector and protecting the rim. Like I said from the beginning, that's Shaq and Kobe 2.0. That's big. We could really make something happen in Phoenix. We could really have a spark and, have a winning legacy here, start a winning legacy.
As far as the workout goes, we tried to create as many game situations as we could, using coaches, putting them in different scenarios offensively and defensively. Did a lot of shooting, a lot of finishing, some defensive drills, and he did well in just about every area.
The Bahamas Bowling Federation's Nationals, all history now. On the ladies' side, Driscoll Rule was the top qualifier heading into the step-ladder finals. She didn't have her best game in the final, but she did just enough to pull off the win, including picking up an incredible spare in the second frame.
The 3-7-10, and I said, you know what? It's the last game here. Let's go for it, and I made it. Strikes, yes, were hard come by. I only had a double. I think I had 1 trip, 6-10, so 3 strikes in the game. The lanes were biting. I can imagine so because of the lights and how long the oil may have been sitting on the lanes for. So it made more of a backhand, but had to control the pocket, and I'm glad that I made my spares today.
On the men's side, this one was also about the top qualifier. David Slatter completed a 3-peat, beating Tyrone Knowles in the final.
I knew I had my work cut out for me, but when you're the the top qualifier, the key is you want to come out to a fast start. You want to, he's the underdog, I'm the favorite. I want to put some pressure on him quickly. Fortunately, I was able to go double, spare, double, and get out to a quick lead. And then it was a matter of if he got hot, then I had to keep going. The breaks went my way, they didn't go his way. He had a lot of 9s. I had 2 balls that could have split, but they broke down to 9s. But I threw 7 good shots and 3 not so good shots. So I'm pleased with my performance. Excited about 3 in a row.
Just getting into the final was quite a feat for Knowles, who ran the table from 5th place. But in the end, he just ran out of gas.
I know it was my game to win, and the pressure was on all of the other more experienced bowlers. They were former champions before, and so I know no pressure was on me. They had to beat me. And so I came out, I had to have fun, and knowing that they had to beat me, and knowing that I had the capacity to bowl a great game, I read the lanes early, I made my adjustment, and it paid off.
I guess the difference in the finals was the ones previous were strikes and the ones in the finals was just nines, right?
Yeah, that's how it is sometime. I threw 5 consecutive balls that were in the pocket, but they all came up 9. And that's how it is sometime. But I knew at the end of the day, David had to either strike out or continue to strike in order to beat me.
Our men's national volleyball team hard at work getting ready for international competition. For more on that, here's Amajal Knowles.
The Senior CBC Championships are roughly 2 months away, and that means our men's national volleyball team is currently laying the groundwork to secure a medal in Suriname come August. We caught up with national team coach Lloyd Davis on just how practices were going and his evaluation of the team at this point.
The pro players are back, right? But the core of the team, I guess they're not taking the game really serious or taking this tournament serious. So some pressure have to be put on them so they could do some positive things. We know what it takes to win. And I had a meeting with them last night. We know what it takes to win this tournament. We know the puzzles that we need. The problem is, I told the players, call your friends and those who need to come out. Make sure they're out. If they not come out, they're not going to make this team.
From a player standpoint, veteran national team players Byron Ferguson and Rajal Moxie spoke to what they saw from players at practices thus far.
We have a lot of younger guys. I wouldn't say who's just learning, but they're trying to get up to speed with the senior men's level, and that could be a problem for us right now.
I think the first thing we need to work on is getting back into good chemistry with each other. We have several of us guys that are in Canada playing pro, currently in college. Some people playing in the Caribbean. So it's just interesting to see us coming back and having different styles of play and stuff like that. So we just need to get back on the same page in terms of chemistry, because as anybody knows, a team with the best chemistry is normally the team's going to win.
Despite this, expectations for the team remains high.
I've already been there before. My expectation is always to win. If we don't win, the least a medal. But like I said, we have a good mixture, and we have some of the veteran guys like myself and Prince, Ronaldo, these guys who will be playing. So we have what it takes to win again.
After the last tournament, our core is solid, but we did need a lot of work. And the main thing I think was the chemistry part of it. But moving forward, this upcoming CBC, we have a lot of strong players that are back, a lot of people that are in pretty good shape, a lot of people still getting in shape. So I think it will be, what we're going to do is going to be pretty promising.
Coach Davis saying the team is expected to be cut to 18 in about a week. For Zetna Soul Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Following play last week, our Davis Cup team has been promoted back to Group 2 for 2019. Philip Major Jr. and player captain Marvin Roll both know what lies ahead, and so they won't be taking anything for granted.
Sure, you have to keep working hard. I wouldn't change anything. I'll just keep doing what I would normally do and compete and train. I would just like to see the team get together at least 3 weeks before competition in Zone 2, and we could all practice together and get familiar with each other, and so we could be able to put our best foot forward.
Just more tournaments, more training, and just staying out there consistently, the more we stay out there playing those tournaments, the more those guys get their feet wet, get used to the competition and the higher competition, and that's what these guys need now.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
A flat screen or a fishing excursion, a gas grill or a GoPro. Win these great gifts for your dad. Just buy Gillette razors and shave products and enter at Pritchard's for your chance to win.
Pantene has a collection for every hair type. And now when you buy any 2 Pantene products, you can enter at Pritchard's to win up to $1,000 cash. Try Pantene for your chance to win. To feel fresh and dry all day long, use Always Dailies. Now when you buy any 2 packs of Dailies liners, you can enter to win a Samsung S6, Jumbo gift cards, or cash prizes. Buy Always Dailies and enter to win.
Bounty and Charmin will have you winning and grinning.
Yes!
Buy these products and enter to win these prizes.
Nice!
Win and grin with Bounty and Charmin today.
BTC is giving the gift of rollover data, plus free unlimited WhatsApp calls, texts, pictures, and videos. Choose from our 1-day plan for $349, 7-day plan for $9.99, or our 15-day plan for only $29.99. We've even thrown in unlimited BTC to BTC calls and texts. Dial *203# to activate your plan today. Share every moment with BTC. Terms and conditions apply.
Carlton Bowleg. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
Go to North Andros and the Berry Islands.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the Family Islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the Family Islands today.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I on television.
I don't have a TV in here.
We have Wi-Fi though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade. Now you can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up before it's over good.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we feed ourselves?
Starting June 14th, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas proudly presents the exciting games of the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia. Watch all the thrilling action as 32 teams play for 64 heart-stopping matches in 11 different Russian cities until the sensational final match on July 15th in Moscow for the coveted place in the 2021 FIFA Confederations Cup competition. Tune into ZNS TV this June for the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia, and be sure to contact your ZNS account executive or the ZNS sales office at 502-3800 to book your special FIFA World Cup 2018 sponsorship package. Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we continue to have this mid-level low in the Gulf of Mexico, which is fueling some tropical moisture across the northwest Bahamas. And with the very hot temperatures and relatively light wind, it will continue to fire up pockets of showers and thunderstorms right into Friday morning. And thereafter, things should clear up somewhat on Saturday, and then the rains will return again on Sunday. And that's the way the models are working it out for you. Tonight, we are looking at partly cloudy conditions with a shower or two likely, even a thunderstorm possible in parts of the northwest Bahamas. Bahamas. Low temperature getting down to 79 degrees. And tomorrow it's going to be partly cloudy with pockets of showers and thunderstorms. Again, high temperature around 88 degrees. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, upper 80s right into Sunday, and then things will taper off a bit as we head into Monday. And we're seeing as though we're going to have a relatively good weekend shaping up for you. So do take advantage of that. And just before we close out, I'd like to extend condolences to the family of Levi McPhee from the Coconut Grove area where I grew up. I just picked up the papers today and saw that he passed on Monday.
Wow. Thanks a lot. That does it for us in the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, thanks for looking in. Have a good night.
You're watching the ZNS